Olá a todos os nossos amigos, está começando hoje um episódio especial, uma série especial do Bendito Agro, um episódio que fala realmente do que é o Bendito Agro, que é o podcast de conhecimento e inovações do Brasil e do mundo. Esse episódio ele vai ser gravado em inglês, então, pessoal, vocês que estudam, vocês que querem aprender um pouquinho mais, vai ser um episódio de muito conhecimento, muito trabalho, e vai ser totalmente gravado em inglês. Meu inglês não é perfeito, eu vou me esforçar ao máximo, mas aproveitem. Então, daqui para frente eu vou tocar todo o episódio em inglês. Então, começando agora o Bendito Agro, o podcast de inovações e conhecimento do Brasil e do mundo. All right, today we're going to interview Ernest. Ernest is 66 years old. He has degree in plant physiology and chemistry, and he's vice president of product development in Pivot Bio. Hi, Ernest. Can you say hi for our audience, please?
Bom dia, tudo bem?
Bom dia.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I hope my English is not too difficult to understand.
Okay, that's great. Probably my English is going to be much more difficult to understand than yours. All right. Okay, starting for the first question, please, Ernest or Ernesto.
Yep,
You love to call you Ernesto in this interview.
Yep.
Ernesto, tell me a little bit what you're doing your day. You know, like who is the vice president of product development in Pivot Bio?
Yep. I would love to. And to realize what I'm doing today, I need to tell a little history. I had 38 years at Monsanto. I had an opportunity, well, I grew up on a farm as well. And then I had a 38-year career at Monsanto. And I had a chance to work in Brazil when I was at Monsanto and actually launched Intacta soybeans with a Brazil team. So I have a very fondness for Brasileitos and feijoada and a lot of other things that I've enjoyed very much when I was in Brazil. But today, this is about my 4th year working for Pivot Bio. And what I do there is we have some exciting new technology that we're bringing to farmers in the US, in the Estados Unidos. We have launched a product for over 2 years now in the United States that has made a new development and a new step change in fertilizers. So synthetic fertilizer has been around forever, right? And you use DAP, you use MAP, you use ammonia, you use urea. So a lot of different fertilizers are being used, but there haven't been many new innovations in that industry in years. And so first of all, what I do is when things come out of our research laboratory, I make sure that our team understands how they perform, what they do, how they interact with the maize plants, and are they a commercial product or not? And then I make sure our commercial team gets all of that information so that they can launch and sell the product. I have regulatory approvals, I have business development. There are a lot of other things that work with my team that we do. But most importantly, we're bringing a new biological product forward. It's not a GMO trait. It's not a chemistry. This is really a biological product. There are products in Brazil that are from azospirillum, and azospirillums are very similar to what we're doing, but we've taken it a step further and made even more improvements to it so that our biological product, it goes onto the seed, it's planted in the ground, the bacteria grow on the roots of the corn plant, and they take nitrogen out of the air, make ammonia, and feed that fertilizer directly to the corn. So now we're replacing some of the synthetics. So if you put 120 kilos per hectare of urea down, you can replace 30 kilos of that or 40 kilos of that and put our product down instead. It's better for the environment, it's better for a farmer, and a lot of synthetic gets washed away with the rains or it's not effective with the plant, but our product does provide that. It's been really exciting. I'll stop and let you ask me questions again.
Yes, like I was very impressed, honestly. It's like, as I said before, like it has like 2 years I followed the company. And as you say, I made some tests in the lab of my university in the past, azospirillum.
Yep, azospirillum.
And we didn't get enough, how you say, like to prove it, like
right.
other than the statistic. Always we can make some more, nitrogen. Of course, you are put more as a spring in the field, you like in the soil, you are getting more nitrogen. But right. Like the first questions for you is like, as you say, you just spoke for us, it's like in US, in Brazil, the biggest countries who use plant more corn, and China and the others, right. We use a lot of synthetic fertilizers.
Yes.
Nitrogen. And when you put nitrogen in the soil, a lot of these bacteria, they don't need to do fixation. And how this works, how you're changing, what's the difference between we are making before it azospirium and this new bacteria? Because this is the question, because sure. We have been trying to do this for like, I don't know, since we are born.
Right. So that was what I think is so elegant but simple about our technology. In soja, you have bradyrhizobium, it makes nodules, it provides nitrogen for the plant. For years, people have been trying to put that into maize, and it hasn't worked. And our product does not make nodules. It is not the same as bradyrhizobium. And the two things that I have found that are difficult with azospirillums is they have a very, very short shelf life. Like they die easy. So you don't get them to grow on the corn plants because
you always need to input more into soil. Remember the trials was really hard. Yes,
it's very difficult to get them to grow on the corn plants. And then if you apply synthetic fertilizer and you have azospirillum there, well, the azospirillum will just eat the nitrogen from the fertilizer and not make more. So they kind of shut down. It's like if you go to a feast, you're not going to go back to the kitchen and keep working. You're just going to eat at the feast, right? So that's really what's happening. So the two differences in our technology is that we have made some improvements to our bacteria, our biological. It's not an azospirillum, it's a different strain. But the strain, what we've done is made a mutation to where it doesn't care how much nitrogen is applied. It continues to make ammonia every day anyway. So regardless of how much fertilizer you apply, it does not matter. Our product keeps working and producing more ammonia on the roots every day. So that's the first big improvement, is that we provide extra nitrogen to the maize plant on a daily basis. We call it spoon feeding. You can translate, it's a little at a time, a little bit every day to keep it going. And then the second thing we've done is that we've improved the ability to colonize the roots. So we have a bacteria that has better shelf life, it lasts longer throughout the season, and it's easier to grow. And what the bacteria do is, from a corn plant sends sugars out into the root system to help feed the other biologicals that are there. Our product loves to eat and feed on those sugars that come down. So it works both ways. Our product loves it's called root exudates that come out of the corn plant into the soil. Our products eat those sugars, and then our product provides fertilizer, ammonia for the corn plant to grow.
Okay, that's awesome. And I just started thinking so many things. Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of questions. First, like as we have like a high, we are in Brazil, at least in Mato Grosso, have the heat is much higher than US.
Yes.
Probably we're going to have more sugar from the roots than US.
Sure.
And that can be really awesome for the products in some tries in the future. That's my thinking. And Bahia is more heat, because you have like the best yield in cotton and corn, the best yield in cotton in the world. All right, say that, I just was thinking out. Second point is, and it's very important, Pivot Bio create these enzymes, these microbes, is a new microbial, or you took something from the soil and you just grow. I don't know.
Good. Perfect. How we did this is there are many bacteria and biologicals. I know bacteria in Brazil usually is a bad thing. It makes you sick. But in Estados Unidos, we refer to bacteria as things that are gram-negative bacteria that grow in the soil too. So it's not a bad thing, But this biological product, we went across the US and dug up corn plants. And then we isolated this bacteria, this biological strain that was already growing on the roots of corn plants. So we knew it liked to grow there. We knew it would be happy there. And then we took it to the lab, and that's where we made sure that we made a mutant of it that produces ammonia every day, no matter what. So we took a naturally occurring bacteria that already grows on corn, that we know likes to grow on corn roots. And then we took it to the lab and did everything we needed to do to improve that strain to where it would perform better every day and colonize better on the roots.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, and now I'm going to my third question. And that's very important. What's the amount? Like, I was looking some videos and some photos, like from Pivot Bio, and I saw like from the planters, you made some adaptation. Like it looks like you took off the fertilizer box, and there you put like the microbes. Can you tell me like how much you need to plant in 200 acres? Because it's 100 hectares, 10 hectares in Brazil. Yeah, just for have idea, because like logistics, like the logistics is very important. It's really hard to manage.
Yes, and you have multipliers in Brazil now, and your multipliers put seed coating on the seed. That is how we would like to go to market in Brazil when we're ready to go to Brazil. We would like to have the maize seed treated with our product, and then you plant it. So it would come on the seed, ready to plant in the ground. There would be no liquid application. There would be no, it would be easy for the farmer to come as a seed coating and already on the seed.
Oh, now I understand. Let's see. I didn't mention before, but I work for Corteva. And yes, and the whole strategy, as for example, Pioneer now in Brazil, all the seeds, they can eat like industrial treatment. It's no choice. The grower buy Pioneer. The only difference they can do is like, I want to use like this treatment or this treatment or this treatment. Like all the seeds need to be like industrial prepare before going to the fields. before sent to the growers. And that's the whole idea. You want to like have opportunity to go, instead of apply in the field, it's like putting the seeds like before going to the grower. It's like being a partner from all these seed companies. That's the whole idea in the future.
Well, we still have many decisions to make to go to a Brazil market.
No, sure, but this is I'm asking for US.
Yeah. So if I had my preference and we could do it and regulatory in Brazil was accepting, we would go as a seed coating on the seed delivered to the farmer. Or, you know, some large farmers have their own coating equipment that they can treat seed themselves and plant. That would be our preference. Now, we do not, in the US right now, in Estados Unidos, we do liquid application in the furrow, right? And what we're doing is our first product is replacing 25 kilos per hectare of synthetic nitrogen. And then we have a second product that's coming very soon. And we're working on a third product in our lab that does even more. So we're just going to continue to roll out new products that replace more and more and more of the synthetic nitrogen with our product. And there are two ways that farmers have used it. One is they know that their nitrogen program is not efficient. So they put the same amount of fertilizer and then put our biological on top to get more yield. And there are other growers who reduce the amount of synthetic and put our product on top, and they yield the same as if they had not reduced. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's very clear, and that's very normal. And that's like, for example, we are very struggle to apply nitrogen in corn after V7 because of the size of the corn. You don't want to go there and doing scratches, and you can hit, you can, how you can say, you can damage your field. Yes. And what happens is like the more like the growers who has more power, machine power, they apply 2 times, 3 times, no more than that.
Right.
It's almost impossible to apply them more than 3 times. It's like you has like a lot of machines, and it's going to be hard. And normally it's 1 or 2. And what happens is like you have like urea, what's the most common, and sulfate. And what happens is like you lose a lot. And a lot of time after V8, V9, you don't have more nitrogen. It's not more able for the plant. It's not, how forget the English, sorry about that. It's not more like the plant cannot, the plant don't have more nitrogen because everything what you apply or was in the soil or you use for volatility or for exuviation or any other things. And if in this way, the way we are using our synthetic fertilizers now, it's going to be really hard to hit, the maximum yield possible. That I understand very well. I already apply a lot of times nitrogen to field, and it's clear for me. And have all the problems of rain and other things you mix.
Yeah, so it's not very efficient, It's like when you use synthetic fertilizer and you apply it to the field, somewhere between 40 and 60% of it gets used by the plant and the rest goes away.
Yes.
It's like having 2 caipirinhas and you pour one out and you drink the other, right? Come on. You need both caipirinhas. You want to get use out of both of those.
And like, I don't know if like how explain that, but that's probably one of the most important inventions of the modern agriculture. Like if you can,
I have no I have no problem with synthetic fertilizer. Synthetic fertilizer has fed half of the people in the world and allowed us to be very, grow crops and have higher yields. But it's kind of like some medicines you take. They're good for you, but they sometimes have a side effect, right? And if you, the
Yes.
fertilizers you can get nitrates in the water. You can have nitrous oxide as a greenhouse gas, coming off. So there are great things about synthetic nitrogen fertilizer, but there are some things that are not so great. So that's again why we feel like we're going to provide value to our customer farmers by providing synthetic nitrogen for them. And we're going to provide a value to the planet for being cleaner.
Yes. Sorry, like I was not clear, but like when Pivot Bio hits like the third product, I believe it's going to be one of the most important inventions from these recent years. That's what I want to say, because what the people look is like, and they're going to be very, very honest here, it's like growers in Brazil, they make a lot of money today because they can make 2 seasons. And we are, of course, we want to, like, for the companies as the company I work now, I manager now, like Corteva, Bayer, Syngenta, BAS, they want to sell for them,
Sure.
They want to sell for American growers, US growers. But when you have like these new technologies, it starts being possible for people in other countries who don't have like a lot of like money bargain, or it's hard to come in like nitrogen fertilizers for them as Africa, as another South American countries. I'm going to give an example like Roraima in the north of Brazil. It's really hard to go in there to like eat nitrogen. And what happens is it starts being possible to grow corn in a lot of countries, what was not possible before. And that's really that's really impressive. This is like a very, very important, I believe it's like thinking about the country, like how important is this research now? I'm just not talking about Mato Grosso. I am talking about how other countries, was really more difficult to grow corn or rice, example, like the two crops who's more important for human feed, and that's awesome. That's really important, think about
because
that.
transportation in Brazil has always been an issue too. So transporting water or transporting big tanks of, ammonia or large truck full of urea, those are not easy to do and apply, and it's expensive. Our product comes in a small box, and it delivers in one box that I can pick up and hold in my hand. It delivers 500 kilos of nitrogen. That's because awesome. What we do is we use the plant, the corn plant is our factory to make more and more and more and more and more. So we don't have to deliver everything at one time. We start out and it makes some every day. So we actually have a factory that works for us on the roots of the corn plant. And we can deliver product much lighter, much less bulk, and maybe easier to transport to farther places that makes it difficult for people to afford nitrogen.
That's unbelievable. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah. I hate to tell you this, but we have been testing in Argentina. I know.
Oh, that's so sad.
In Argentina, it's not so nice, but we did get some test in Argentina. Our product works there. We'll be able to share the data, Mercosur with Brazil. But with COVID and everything going on, travel is so difficult, and getting new field trials set up and working with the regulatory system in Brazil to import a biological product, we are delayed in coming to Brazil for a market.
Yes, I understand that. It's really it's really hard. Like the few points what I liked about this podcast is like I had the opportunity to interview a lot of different people, and like since the one of the biggest growers from Brazil, since like one of like the biggest biological company in Brazil, and like a regulatory person, like I interview like I don't know, like 2 months ago, a woman who's doing the whole regulatory in Brazil for biologicals, and another guy called Marcel Barbier, who's like maybe you know him, Marcel Barbier.
Yeah.
He's like he's a very interesting person, and he's helping my friend to bring a biological company to Brazil. And just like it's starting like the difficult, because these small pieces is no like I say like Brazil is the only thing what you really can make money is agricultural, because like it's how the country works. No, it's a commodity country. But you need to be like you need to have like some person to help you to put together these parts, because it's very complicated, and it's really easy to make some mistakes.
And it's very relationship built too.
Yeah.
You need, and when I was launching Intacta, I was in Brazil every month for at least a week, every month.
Wow.
So you make friends, you make connections, you understand the system, you know how to get things done. And like now, it's been 18 months since I've been to Brazil. So, you kind of lose contacts, you lose track, things don't happen as easily. And so I look forward to when I can return and try to make more progress getting our product there.
Perfect. I wish to ask you like more one question. This is like and the price. I don't know if you can open the price, but I don't want to ask the real price.
Sure.
But my questions for you is like when you think about like a pivot bio in the field, like it is the cost is around like if you think it's like 30 pounds per acre. It's kind of 30 kilos per hectare.
Yeah.
It's a little bit about the price of the nitrogen, or is higher? I wish to understand. This is like you are going to the market in like I don't know the name in English now, but it's like a little bit the price like competition, or is going to be more like as people buy organic food, it's like you're paying higher to be helping the planet.
Yeah. So we definitely want the product to stand alone as bringing value to the farmer. So if you're just replacing synthetic nitrogen, our price in the US is, I think, what did I look at? Ammonia is around 42 cents a pound right now.
That's a very cheap ingredient.
Yeah, so it's pretty cheap. So our product that delivers 35 pounds, it delivers that value of replacing synthetic nitrogen. Plus, it delivers the fact that it doesn't wash away with rains. It's always there. It's performing every day. And you usually end up getting a yield boost. Now, not always. Our product will not fix a drought. Our product will not fix if somebody sprays the wrong herbicide. Right. So it doesn't cure everything. If it cured baldness, there. Right? Yeah. But what we do is we provide ammonia to the plant. We provide nitrogen fertilizer on an everyday basis. So our price is around $13 per acre in the US. And you can calculate that based on HAI,
It's a really good price.
And we deliver that value plus more, or we would not have grown as fast as we have. We've been sold out in the US for the last 2 years in a row. We didn't make enough product. So we're extremely excited about our growth and about the future of where we're going.
Yes, that's true. It's a really good price. It's competitive. Yes. I can just make a very fast.
Competitive with synthetic nitrogen. It is competitive price. And it delivers the value because, there's so many, all farmers are environmentalists, because they want to hand the land down to their family or their children in better shape than they received it. They farm the same land every year, so they take care of it, right? So if you give the farmer a choice of, here's 30 kilos of synthetic, or here's 30 kilos of biological, and the biological has a better benefit for your land, they'll always pick the one that has the better benefit. But if the price is too high, they can't do it. They have to make a living, right? And we understand that.
Yes, that's true. And I wish to make more one question. It's just like we made interview. It's few companies. I can say the name here. It's just like Biome Genetics and Trace and Trace. And I was really stunned. It's like I didn't saw anything similar in the past. Like you can trace out you can see out the soil so many information. But my question is for you is like when you apply the pivot bio, you are changing the soil. My question is for you is like if it's like in similar to soybeans, when you start to put like a more it's going to be some after 6 years treating soybeans for doing biological nitrogen fixation, like the soil starting getting that bacteria, that like that rhizobiums, I want to ask you if it's like after 2 years using pivot bio in the soil, if you guys are looking some difference in the quality of like organisms in the soil. That's a question.
So there is a big difference in our biological product versus Brady rhizobium. You are correct. Brady rhizobium does build up in the soil. It lives there year round, and it provides everything, so you can get to where you may not have to apply it in the future because you have the native Brady rhizobium there built up nicely. Our products are different. What we've done, if you can imagine, since we have them making ammonia from nitrogen from the air, cost much energy. It's very energy intensive to do that. So our products, since we have them making ammonia every day, it's like they're playing football, they're running, they're working hard. And when the corn plant dies at the end of the year, there's no more food coming down to our microbes. So our biologicals die also. So they don't build up every year.
And what's the difference between like in sand soil, in gray soil, difference like your product works different in these different kind of soils? How it works?
So we have tested in 42 different soil types because we wanted a product that goes across the entire corn belt in the US, right? Everywhere. We didn't want something that works in Iowa and doesn't work in Illinois, right? We want it to work everywhere. So we tested in 42 different soil types, and we found that what's unique is that our biological grows on the corn roots. So it stays right there on the roots. It doesn't care what the soil is like 1 centimeter away or 2 centimeters away. It doesn't care. So it grows in every soil type that we've tested. Now, different soils, as you mentioned, whether it's red or gray or black or whatever the soil types are, they have different compaction, different amounts of sand and clay. And so there are some performance differences, but our product does colonize and grow in all soil types. But what we have to do is characterize which ones it does best in.
Okay, I understand.
Makes sense?
Makes sense. Make a lot of sense. And different of plants, and like this is like more personal. From these last months, I run a lot of cornfields. I don't know, a lot, more than 200. And I saw all kind of hybrids in the field. And so this is really different, you know, have like more, you have like the big ones, you have like a more resistant, like you have like, I don't know, some hybrids has like 5 letters after the number. What's unbelievable, like the genetic is going really further. And I work with some agronomists, research people from the company too. And it's really interesting how it's different, the plants, you know? And my question is for you, you see like the pivot bio products working different in different kinds of corn hybrids in the field?
So this is an area of research that still needs more work. What we know is that we provide the equivalent of about 25 to 30 kilos of synthetic nitrogen with our first product. We will provide more with our second product. And there are fertilizer hybrid interaction. We know some hybrids need more nitrogen, some need less, some are more efficient at uptake, some are not. But we haven't really gotten into that. We have just decided that we're a nitrogen company, we're not a seed company.
Right.
But what we want to do from a nitrogen standpoint is just tell everybody, if you want to take 30 kilos out, you can put our product in. And it will do the same on that hybrid. Whatever hybrid you pick, it will do the same on that hybrid.
Perfect.
There will be more research in the future, I'm sure, because there's so many new hybrids coming out every year.
It's true. Yeah. And we should make, I believe it's going to be my final question. And you say it doesn't matter, like the grower thing, he can keep applying, I don't know, 200 kilos, or like the pivot bio is just going to help the corn yield more because it's going to be like the soap feeding every day. What is awesome.
Yes.
So he can keep in the same fertilizer application, as like the price now for corn in Brazil is really high. The growers are investing much more, you know, like it's really unbelievable. Like they are applying 180 points nitrogen per hectare. What is a lot? We are talking about like half tons, like it's like a half ton per hectare. It's a lot of yields, a lot of pounds. It's like 1,000 pounds per hectare. It's 500 pounds of nitrogen per hectare. It's a lot. And you see now it's very clear for me, he doesn't need to put less. He wants to invest more. He wants to have a better soil. He wants to have like a better yield. But yes, Ernie, we are starting going to finishing our episode now, our interview. If I didn't make some question for you and you want to talk about something or explain something for our audience, for BenditoAgro audience, you are free to speak or free to talk.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Pericles, for the opportunity, because as I said, I've been to Brazil many times. I love Brazil. You're an agriculture-based economy. I mean, there's so many people still involved in agriculture and the growing of food, and just being involved in that is still a wonderful experience for me. I love South America in general, and I love Brazil. Next, just getting a chance to start talking about what our product can do and the impact it can have in Brazil is exciting. I'd like to come back and do a second interview once we have our results from Argentina, so I could share some of that information. And then whenever COVID allows travel and things are safe, I'll come back to Brazil and we'll start trying to work through the regulatory system and get our products brought into the country. Because Brazil, having safra and safrinha both, you know, having all the different crops, our product works on rice, it works on sorghum, it works on sugarcane,
Sugarcane, really?
Yeah, maize. Yeah.
Why
yeah.
didn't tell me before? Awesome.
Well,
You made some questions for sugarcane.
well, we don't have a lot of data yet, and we focused on corn. We're still a small company that's growing. So we have to focus so that we stay alive and keep growing.
Sure.
If we get too many things going on,
you need to grow and make some money to keep growing. And yeah, I know.
Yes. So we think there's big opportunity to go to other crops. There's big opportunity to go to other geography. And we look forward to improving our products every 2 or 3 years with something new. And I look forward again to coming back and talking to you about what those opportunities are, because, you know, in my career, I lived through a lot of different waves. I launched chemical products, then I launched biotech products, and then we launched big data with climate and, you know, a lot of drone flights and things like that. And then now we're on the tip of the wave of biologicals. Biologicals are making a big comeback in Europe, in the US, and in South America. You know, so I think these biological products, with the research that a lot of companies are doing, are going to continue to grow and provide more benefits to us, and maybe less chemistry in the future.
That's awesome. I believe in this future too. All right, that's awesome, guys. We are finishing this meeting. For everybody who's just listening to us and you want to understand a little bit and read a little bit about Pivot Bio, go in there, in their website has a lot of good information, a lot of trials. They made a lot of trials in the whole United States. You saw, guys, like Ernie just promised, when I have like the results from Argentina, he's going to come back to talk to us. But that's awesome. I'm very happy to do this interview. I'm very impressed. And for everyone who didn't sign up or subscribe to BenditoAgro, I ask everybody to help. This is an independent project, and we are trying to do our best, you know, bring people for different parts of the world, the US, Europe, Argentina, and we're going to keep growing. And thank you very much, and see you next week.
Okay, your English